What's going on, everybody? What's going on? I'm sitting over here folding on my clothes and stuff. Sitting over here in the middle of the night folding on my clothes. But I wanted to come onto my channel, man. A lot of that R. Kelly stuff is over. And, I asked my subscribers and different folks, um, what they wanted to hear more of. So I understand, if this video don't get a lot of views, because this ain't for everybody who are my subscribers, but this is for a specific set of people who are looking to get their business acumen together, and they are looking to power up. Um, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Um, you know, uh, leave a comment if y'all can hear me. Hey, what's going on, honey? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna assume that y'all can hear me. All right. So, yeah, a lot of people said that they wanted a lot of financial information and stuff like that. That I was dropping at one point in time. What's going on, Claudine? So, I wanted to talk to people about like business structuring, um, lying on your taxes, LLC hustles, and stuff like that. Now, when you go out here on this YouTube space, everybody wants to be Donald Trump. They want to be this big global business magnet that makes billions of dollars. And everybody say, "Oh, go and create you an LLC, and go ahead and do this and do that." And first thing that you need to the first thing that you need to know and understand is a LLC the right thing for me, right? Like people say, okay, go and create an LLC. Well, why would you create an LLC? An LLC is basically a pass-through entity, meaning it gives you the protections so that if something happens in business, somebody can't come after you personally. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. If you are in a business where you're gonna get a business credit card, or you're going to be getting different products, or you're gonna be dealing with the banks and dealing with vendors and things like that, then you're gonna have to personally guarantee those things anyway. And what a personal guarantee is that when you sign up for a credit card, man, you basically saying that, hey, if this don't go, hey, if everything else breaks bad with the business, then I'm willing to back the debt of the business up. What's going on, Courtney Love? I'm willing to co-sign for the business. And so once you start personally guaranteeing things, then the necessity and the need for you to have an LLC kind of goes away. Now, what type of business are you in, right? What type of business are you in? Like, you got to think about it. What's the liability in this business? Like, let's just say that you run a funeral home business. You really don't need to be an LLC if you got a funeral home business, right? Because everybody who you dealing with for the most part is dead. Shit. So, you know what I'm saying? The number, whatever could go wrong with it, I mean, folks might be upset, but people, your clients are really dead. Your clients are dead, right? Versus somebody like me, you know, I'm in the car business. Okay, so I got an LLC because hey, if something goes wrong, if you buy a car from me, and let's just say you drive that car down the road and the car blows up, hey, they can hold me personally liable for something that happened in the business. So, you know, choosing what business structure you want to have is vital, right? Choosing what business structure you want to have is very vital and it's very important because let's just say that you go and you create a you go and you got some business, right? Like let's just say that you host basketball tournaments and stuff for kids. Okay, unless somebody do something crazy like go and you know molest a child or some crazy shit, it ain't too much that can happen by that. You could call it, you know, Courtney loves basketball training. Now, this is the thing, okay? When you have these LLCs, one thing that you hear is people say, oh, create you an LLC, get you a business bank account. Yeah, in certain instances, then the next thing that you see and the next thing that you hear is you hear people who are saying, okay, well, you know, hey, just report a loss so you don't have to pay any taxes. Well, okay, cool. If all of your money is coming in from private sources, or you are the one who is, you're the person who's, uh, you're the person who is, let's just say, funding the business, right? Like you might be taking money out of your own pocket and funding your business. All right, then if you report losses, then it's not going to affect you so much. But once you try to go to a bank to get a business line of credit, get a business loan, and you reporting these losses, then you got to look at it from a just a common sense and a practical standpoint to say that would I want to do business with somebody who's telling me on their paperwork they're losing money, right? So I see a lot of folks who, oh, I'm just gonna report a loss. I'm gonna report a loss. All right, cool. Now you done reported a $50,000 loss in your business, okay? And after you done reported a $50,000 loss, shit, the IRS, they might come in after so many years and just shut your business down because you keep on reporting all these damn losses. So what are you in business for if you're not making any money? You gotta ask yourself that. What are you in business for if you're not making any money? Right? Then where are your losses coming from? How are you sustaining these losses? Okay? Now, the next thing is that in business, in business, you never don't lie on your taxes. Because one, once you lie on your taxes, then you get, you know, just skip past the trouble you're gonna get in with the IRS, right? Like let's just let's just look at excuse me. Let's just look at simple stuff. Okay. When you lie on your taxes and just to make your taxes cheaper, that money that you start paying in taxes, you will get all of that money back from a bank. Okay. If you're able to show, hey, I'm doing $800,000 a year in revenue. Okay. 175,000 of that is profit. Then when you go walk into the bank will give you money against that 800,000. But when you said that shit, hey man, I took $100,000 loss, they're gonna be like, ma'am, sir, it's nothing that we can do for you at this time. Your debt to income ratio is off, so on and so forth. Now, it's other ways for you to save your money, right? It's other ways to shield your money from taxation. You can do a self-directed 401k where you're going in and you stashing your money into a whole nother 401k account. Now, from that 401k account, this is the trick. This is the hustle, right? You put your money from business into a self-directed 401k account. Then or you can put it in a Roth IRA. Okay. Now, let's just say you want to go and buy a property cash, and you got all of this money that you're trying to stash. Now, you are still reported as profit on your business tax returns. But then you taking this money that you have reported as a profit, and damn, who won? You taking this money that you have reported as a profit. Oh damn, the Nuggets won. You taking the money you reported as a profit, and you will put this money over here into a Roth IRA. You can put this money into a 401k. You can go out and buy you a house. Go and buy you a commercial building. Go and buy you a duplex, right? You know, I'm into buying stuff that I can rent back out, give me some tenants in there. I take the equity out of the property and I use that for cash flow. So, long story short, now I got me a Roth IRA. I got a 401k, a 403b, whatever it is that you have. You done took the money that you done stashed over into that to shield your tax liability. Then you loan yourself your own money. Okay? You loan your money back to yourself. And then you pay yourself back as your tenant pays you. So some of the money you take it and you stash, some of the money you take it and you put it in the next investment, and then the next investment, and then the next investment. Because what you're trying to do ultimately is when you go into a bank, one of the things that the bank is going to ask you for is a personal financial statement. They want to know what type of stocks do you have? Do you have bonds? Do you have jewelry that's worth something? Do you got a classic car collection? You know, they talk money. And when you fill out that personal financial statement, that's your money. That's your reputation right there. So one of the things that people do is people never pay down their student loans, right? People just have student loans out there. They ain't never paid them down. They never addressed them. They just put them into deferment, right? But you have to look at it like, okay, I got my student loans. All right. So now with my student loans, you need to start putting a dent inside of your student loans, because when you got a bunch of debt out there that you have not bought down the balances of, that affects your credit score, man. And in business and getting rich, money, you don't leave no money on the table, right? So you always want to keep on buying down your taxes, buying down your debts, buying down your student loans. You always want to be buying those down. Now, one of the things that has to be visited is the old adage of, all right, you need to go to college. You know, let's go to college. Well, you know, I had a guy come in and try to buy a car from me yesterday. He makes $2,200 a month, but has $70,000 in student loan debt. $2,200 a month, $70,000 in student loan debt. This person works at a bank. He works at a credit union. Now, did he need to go to college to make $2,200 a month? Ask yourself that. Did he need to go to college to make $2,200 a month? I don't think that you need to, right? I don't think that you need to. $2,200 a month is $550 a week, right? $2,200 a month is $550 a week. So now, when you go to college, you create a bunch of debt obligation and a bunch of debt burden for yourself. Okay, is that degree worth it? Because in everything, you have to have a plan, right? You have to have a plan. Now, the reason that I'm making this video is because it's tax season. And a lot of people go through tax season and they trick their shit off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because people have a negative relationship with money. And people have an adverse relationship to getting ahead in life, right? If you don't see yourself as being financially responsible, you will never be financially responsible. But in the words of Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, you need to escape the rat race, right? Escape the need for having a job. So how do you escape the need for having a job? Well, here's the thing. But I see I got 14 people, watching this stream. How many people, put a hand emoji up in the chat if you know how much your monthly expenses are. Put a hand emoji up in the chat if you know how much your monthly expenses are. How many of y'all know how much y'all monthly expenses are? And this is a no judgment zone, right? So if you don't know how much your monthly expenses are, then that's not a problem, right? Okay, so Sir Miguel, he said he knows. Courtney Love says that they know. Okay. Honey knows. So I guess y'all the only one who know. Tony Briscoe say he somewhat know. Okay. So okay. Third eye. Okay, she third eye. Okay. So some people know, some people don't know. Okay. So for the people who know, do you have 6 months of money set aside? Do you have 6 months of savings set aside? How many people have 6 months of savings set aside? Okay. Courtney Love say she got 6 months of savings. So, okay. So, Honey says she has 6 months of, she got 6 months of savings set aside. Uh, Third eye say she don't. And that's fine. That's good. That's good, third eye. So, before you can start investing anything, you need to have 6 months of emergency money set aside. Where, okay, Sir Miguel said you got 4 months, right? You want to get up to about 6 months, right? That's third. I say that's at least 50,000, right? That's at least 50,000. So, but you got to look at it like this. Okay, if I put away $1,000 a month, it would take me 50 months to have $50,000 of savings. So you have to create a a 4 year and 2 month plan, right? So it's gonna take you roughly 5 years to get to where you need to be, and that's fine. Or, when you go and get your taxes back, then you could use that money, say, I'm not going to spend this. This is my emergency savings fund, right? This is my emergency savings fund. Okay. Now, when you go, I'm saying 50K can last 2 years with a partner in discipline. So here we go. Before you start investing, you set aside 50,000. You set aside your 6 months of savings. That way, hey, if all else fails, then I'm good with this, right? Now, when you really, really, really want to get to something, when you really want to uh, get to some for real money magic, how many of y'all got jobs? Like y'all work regular 9 to 5 jobs? How many of y'all are working regular 9 to 5 jobs? How many of y'all got 9 to 5? If y'all self-employed, write SE in the chat for self-employed. Write the initials SE in the chat for self-employed. But how many of y'all got regular 9 to 5 jobs? And again, this ain't no judgment. We just trying to see where people are. Okay. Honey says she got a 9 to 5. Third Eye, guess they saying okay, they got a 9 to 5. Okay. So, okay. Now, if y'all really want to do some magic, I would say convert y'all 401k or y'all retirement plans to, while y'all still in the workforce, convert that to Roth IRAs, right? And then contribute the money that you pay every month towards a mortgage. Contribute that amount of money to whatever your mortgage payment is. Make sure that you are putting that type of money into your Roth IRA. And if you don't want to do a Roth, you ain't got to do a Roth. You could do a 401k. But, with the Roth, you have already paid taxes on the money, right? So that's why I say do it like this. But you contribute whatever your mortgage payment is to contribute whatever your mortgage payment is to your IRA or your retirement account every month. Now, you want to use this strategy until you get enough money stacked up to go ahead and pay your mortgage off. Now, you pay your mortgage off, you supposed to free that money up, because when you look at it with a mortgage, what's going on, Don? They said did that 2 years ago with the Roth. Okay, you want to pay your mortgage off. If you look at it, you get a mortgage. If I buy a house for $100,000, I'm gonna be there paid $300,000 for the house if all I do is make minimum payments on it. Now, on $100,000 house, my mortgage is gonna be anywhere from about $850, $900 a month. Well, anywhere from $700 to $900 a month. But you contribute whatever your mortgage payment. What's going on, Janet? You contribute whatever your mortgage payment is. What the way you pay your mortgage company, whether it's U.S. Bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Navy Federal, Penn Federal, whoever you pay your mortgage payment to, you're paying them, but you got to pay yourself. You know what I'm saying? The Bible say that the worker should enjoy the first fruits of their labor, right? So you need to pay yourself. So when you are going out there, you paying a mortgage, one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me. If your mortgage is $1,000, by the end of the first year, thanks, Janet. By the end of the first year, you should have $12,000 stacked up. If your mortgage payment is $1,000, then boom, you gonna have that much money stacked up. Now, whatever your mortgage payment is, you want to really be paying $100, $200 more than what your mortgage payment is. That way, you buying down some of the interest in your house. So you start stacking that, then you put money over here into your Roth. After about 6 years, 6 or 7 years of using this method, you should be able to go in and just pay your house off. Just go in and pay your house off, man. And then how much more money would you have? How much more financial freedom would you have to do the things that you want to do if your biggest expense, your house, was already paid off? Now, some people ask the question, rent versus own. Some people ask the question, rent versus own. And, I got into a big conversation with one of my uncles about this last week. What's going on, Cha Cha? I got into a big conversation with one of my uncles about this last week. Because he's one of these rent people. But when you renting something, you really just throwing money away. Like, you get to use the space. But here's the deal. You always want to make sure that you are protected. Okay? You always want to make sure that you are protected, right? And so when you're talking about renting, okay, when you're talking about renting, right? Well, yeah, you get to enjoy the use of that space. All right, honey says she going to sleep. All right. Well, hey, we'll catch you later, Miss Honey. Or, watch the playback tomorrow. Whatever you do. But anyway, you get the use of the space when you're renting, but, and this is a big but, once you're done, you have invested that money essentially for nothing. You have invested that money for nothing. Now you can always get somebody to come in, but here's the thing: when you're buying, you should always buy a property for less than what it's worth. Okay, you should always buy a property for less than what it's worth. Now, this is just business strategy. A lot of people were a part of that housing boom last year or 2 years ago, where people went out, they bought houses, purchased houses, and they was like, oh, the interest rates are so low. The interest rates are so freaking low, guys. Come on, get this house. Come on, come on, come on. Interest rates are so low. So that's what they were saying. The interest rates are so low. Well, the interest rates were low, true enough, but they were charging more for houses than the house was actually worth. Okay, so it's a game, right? It's a game because whenever you have a boom market, a depression is coming right after. Whenever you have a boom market, a depression is getting ready to come right after it. All right. So what does that mean? I'll tell you what that means. Okay, so you have a market where interest rates got all the way down to 3%. Okay, me and my wife bought a house. Okay, really it was her personal crib or whatever because I already got this motherfucker. You hear me? But we purchased another house and it was like a 3.25 interest rate. Say, one of my lady friends told me last week that Mr. Biden said it's going to be easier to buying a house now. So yeah, so pretty much the interest rate was 3.25. Now, when you look at it, the interest rate was low, but what happened? The price of the house was higher. When the interest rates are higher, prices of the house are lower. And you more flexible, it's more room to work with you on the real estate because people can't afford as much house. So what happened was you got people who were buying houses for more than what they were worth or right at what they are worth, and you don't have any equity in the property. When you go into a house, when you go into buying a house or buying a property or whatever, you want to make sure that you leave in at least 30%, I'll say 25 to 30% minimum of equity left in the property. Meaning, if the house is worth $100,000, man, you want to buy that house at about $70,000 to $75,000. Why? Because that other $25,000, I'm gonna sit in this house for 6 months, and then once I sit in this house for 6 months, then I'm gonna go and try to get a home equity loan. Sometimes they require you to be there like 2 years or something like that in order to get there. But it really comes down to what your interest rate is, right? Well, let's just say you go and buy a house. Now, when you go buy a house and they ask you on the application what this house is for, you always say primary residence. I don't give a fuck if you're gonna use it as a rental house. It's always your primary residence because you don't want them looking at it like, all right, this is a business loan, because then they're gonna mess up your interest rates if they know that you using it as for business purposes, then they gonna try to give you some crappy interest rates. But be that as it may, be that as it may, when you going in to purchase a house, you want to always leave money on the table. Okay, always leave money on the table because you don't know which way the market is getting ready to turn. Now, when you go in, you have this stuff, you want to be able to say, all right, cool, I bought this. All right, now, when you got cash money, when you have cash money, you can buy a lot of shit for cheaper than what it costs, right? You could get a lot of shit for way cheaper than what it costs because you're dealing with cash money. And one thing people hate is red tape, right? So when you are going in and getting these loans, like a lot of people tell you, man, go get an FHA loan and all of that. Now, on your personal crib, yeah, you want to go get an FHA loan. But really conventional is the way to go. Now, if you really want to be in the equity game, and you got the time and the know-how to do it, Go out and buy you a plot of land and have your house built. Go in and buy you a plot of land and have your house built. Why you do that, Trent? Why would you do that? Well, one, because when you go out and buy the plot of land and you paying to have that house built, then here's the thing. The cost to have that house built, Sir Miguel said, I bought my house for $281 in 2019. Now it's worth $448,000. So you got damn near 200,000 in you got damn near 200,000 in equity in that house. I've been in my house for 17 years and haven't refinanced. Well, here's the thing. If you are in your house and you haven't refinanced, that's good depending on what your strategy is. But like I say, America is a debtor's nation. Okay? And this is only what I'm talking about, this is only for hustlers, man. Like, if you ain't a hustler, if you're not a hustler, don't employ any of these strategies, because this shit gonna get you into some trouble if you don't know what you're doing. Okay? This gonna get you into some trouble if you don't know what you're doing. But if you know what you're doing, the equity in your house could be your friend or it could be your enemy. For me, I'm somebody that say, like in Sir Miguel's case, if I got damn near 200,000 in equity, then I know, boom, I take that out. Shit, I can go and buy me. I know I can buy me 2 houses with all of that. If you refinance it, shit, I can go buy me 2 houses in cash. I go put them on socialserve.net, make them Section 8 houses. I'm gonna get my money from Section 8, but shit, I'm gonna go in and get loans on them 2 houses and take the money from them 2 houses and buy down the principal in my house, or take that, get you know what I'm saying, get some money against those 2 houses that I paid for in cash. Then after I went and got that money in cash, then I can either take that, go buy 2 more properties and 2 more properties and 2 more properties, or I can go back and start getting at the principal in my crib. Now, the older that you get, shit, the less house you want to maintain. Like for me, shit, I got you know what I'm saying? My house got 5 bedrooms in it. Yeah, oh, you definitely want to get a duplex or a triplex. Shit, I would say get you an apartment building. Get multi-tenant units. For real. Go in, get you some multi-tenant units. Shit, then you really gonna be in the number. Okay? You really gonna be in the number. Go and get you 2 or 3 multi-tenant units. Get you some multi-tenant units. Get you some stuff, like, you know, get you some commercial property on a major street and rent that shit out. Get you a multi-tenant unit on a major street and rent it out. You have some nice houses in New Jersey from the Ryans home. They build a house from scratch, 2 to 3 bedroom for 300,000 or 400,000. But I work in New York, so I can't move to Jersey. But shit, you know what I'm saying? It's people who, if you buy those houses over there in New Jersey, it's somebody who will come and rent them out for you. But like, really, when you talk about playing the money game, here's the thing: if you know some carpenters, if you know some good reputable carpenters, right? Somebody might be in the yellow pages or something like that. Then this is something that you got to think about. You go in and you can go to what if you bust them hood homes down to boarding rooms? Uh, I mean, did you mean hood homes or hood homes? To border like now, I don't know nothing about no boarding rooms, so shit, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you about no doggone boarding rooms, cause I mean, you can try to rent them out on like some Airbnb shit. You can try to rent them out on Airbnb. The IE, the IE much cheaper than LA. I don't even know what IE is. I don't know what IE is. Too many times. I mean, listen, too many tolls. I think she said. Yeah, too many tolls every day. Yeah. So my thing is when you buying a property, just out of here, multiple licks on my house insurance. Hell nah. But listen, when you buying property, you Inland Empire. I don't know what the hell that is. Homes in the hood where you can charge weekly for rooms. You add more rooms onto the house. I mean, well, third eye. If you're gonna do that, why don't you just buy an apartment building? Because like, here's the thing, man. You can go to like IKEA or whatever, and or you could go. Like, I don't personally like IKEA. I don't like that cheap shit. But you could go to the Goodwill. You could go to Overstock.com and make your shit look way more plush than what it is. Especially like with Home Depot, you get you some good bird paint. You slap a couple of coats of bird paint on the wall. Put some kills. Uh, you put some kills over the walls, and you could make a trap house look like that shit is in Beverly Hills somewhere if you do it the right way. You know, if you show if you can show where if you can show where Wayfair, there you go, Wayfair. Everyone got their own room. They might share a bathroom. Say it's a house of such and such. 8 room, 400 a week. I mean, listen, if you got the know how to pull that off, third eye, don't let me stop you. That's not my area of expertise. So I can't really speak on that because I don't know anything about that. But now bird paint is for do it yourself, right? Bird paint is for do it yourself. Bird paint is not if you're a professional painter or something like that, or you're gonna use a paint sprayer, you don't want to get no bird paint. Now shit, you're gonna use a paint spray, you want to get some Sherwin Williams. Well, here's the thing, third eye. You want to be able to you want to make sure that you are shooting for about 30 to 35% over what you are paying for your mortgage on the place. You want to leave yourself a buffer room because incidents and mistakes and all types of stuff does happen. Say Jersey homes that much. Damn, it's 880,000 average out here in Southern California. It's a lot of people that receive checks and they don't sign no lease. If people getting checks though, if they getting a monthly check, then once you get one check, you typically qualify for Section 8 or some type of housing assistance. See, because here's the thing, man. Like the white folks that live out in the nice neighborhoods out here in St. Louis, man, they got all of them. They own the hood. Shit, they own the hoods where I'm at. You feel me? Like for me, Burr and Glidden. See, I don't like Glidden paint. Glidden paint, it's too watery, man. It's too damn watery, and it don't like when you put Bear up there. When you put all that Burr paint takes is one coat, one time. When you get into that Glidden paint, you gotta put like 5, 6 coats of paint on the wall to make that shit stick. You're gonna be tired doing all that damn paint, man. You don't wanna do that shit. You do not wanna do that. Hell no. Shit, I'm into paint one damn time. Using as little paint as I can. Shit, I'm trying to paint a whole damn house off of 1.5 buckets of paint if I can. But that's me. But back to kind of what I'm saying is you want to try to get you some multi-tenant units because you want to be able to if I got a spot where I'm charging basically like $850 to $1,000 a month in rent, and I got 5 units, that's $5,000 a month. My mortgage on the place might only be $2,200, so I'm pocketing damn near $3,000 extra a month. Now, this is a situation where you would want to have an LLC, going back to the beginning. Now, when you want them to pay you, they need to pay the LLC and not you personally. So now, when they paying the LLC, the money is housed in the LLC. Okay, the money is housed in the LLC. Then you create a C corp that owns the LLC. Okay, you create the C corp that owns the LLC. So let's just say I got 6 apartment buildings. Okay, I'm gonna bust that down into sets of 3s, right? So if I own one in East St. Louis, I'm gonna call it East St. Louis. Hold on, Trent. Credit gotta be on point though, right? Or you referring to purchase with cash? That's another myth, Dom. Let me answer Dom K's question. Your credit gotta be on one. That's another myth. Okay. First off, you don't have to have like no 700 credit to do this. All the credit does is determine your interest rate. But you don't have to have 700 credit. You need to be able to make sure you can afford it. But when you doing this, man, you just go and get with a sexy Jen and say my credit's 750 right now. God damn. Listen. When you are going to do this, you want to get with a loan originator. Okay, when you going to do this, you want to get with a loan originator. So who are some of the loan originators? You got better.com, right? Better Mortgage, right? You have New American Funding, okay? Quicken Loans, right? Rocket Mortgage, Top Flight Financial, to name a few. And there's other ones out there. God damn. So you go and find you some folks who are loan originators. Now, when you get with these loan originators, the good thing about a loan originator is they don't have all of the same qualifications and bullshit that you would go through. Say you trying to get a loan from Wells Fargo, Bank of America, something like that. They may not mess with them. But I know with a loan originator, man, you can buy some property with like a 580, 550 credit score. As long as you got the money, the down payment, you can pay for the inspections and whatever else, they will give you a loan with a less than stellar credit score. Trust me. I didn't went through this process before. Okay. So now, or here's another thing, Dom. Here's another thing. All right, you're a minority. So you create your company. If you want to be a sole proprietor or you want to have an LLC and say, hey man, I'm trying to get some counseling so I can go in and buy me a house. Or I can go in and buy me a building. I want to start a real estate company. You go and get you a micro lender. Okay? Go out and get you a micro lender. Right? Out here in St. Louis, the micro lender is called Justine Peterson. But if you go other places, it might be something else. Now, people who are on disability, you qualify for single digit interest rates with micro lenders. Fine, go look up the SBA website and look for micro lenders. These are typically loans under $50,000, right? I got a $25,000 loan last week at like a 6% interest rate. That's just crazy, right? But you create your LLC and go out and find you a micro lender, right? Say, hey, because it's so much money for black people and minorities, whether you're a woman, a gay person, whatever. Uh, you go to the micro lenders, tell them what you're trying to do. And if you're not there, what the good thing about the micro lenders that the SBA got, they gonna tell you how to get there to where you qualify to put your plan in motion. Now, once you got your business structure set up, you then go in and you say, hey man, I want to get some apartment buildings. Because and when you writing a business plan, it's always important to stress minority representation. Okay, you want to say, hey, this needs more minority representation. Because when you sign up for it, when you go and sign that SBA loan, you got to give them permission to use you for marketing purposes. That's part of the loan agreement. So you gotta stress, hey, I saw this, I thought this, but we need more minority representation. Because here's the thing, that minority representation component is what's gonna get you it's gonna get you over the hump. Whereas, let's just say you got a business idea where, hey, I want to put a car dealership where there's already a bunch of car dealerships at. And you got to explain that in your business plan. Why am I putting it here? It needs more minority representation. So, yeah, they get everything over there, but I'm putting stuff here for my own people. Because I understand the inner workings of my people. Credit might be a little bit more profitable than a loan. You have more of a window with the bond. See, well, here's my thing, right? With a loan, you kind of fixed into whatever the interest rate is going to be, third eye. Okay? When you have a loan, whatever you take the loan out at, and typically you're gonna have some type of security on a loan, so your interest rates are gonna be lower. Versus when you go out and get credit, your interest rates are damn near double with credit, because credit by for the most part is unsecured. And by it being unsecured, it's all based off the Wall Street prime rate. And what the Wall Street prime rate is pretty much it's a factor of how much your bank is paying for the money that they borrowing from the Federal Reserve. Because the banks don't have no money, okay? Your banks don't really have no money. They borrowing the money that you borrowing from them. They borrowing it from the Federal Reserve. And so Wall Street kind of changed that prime rate. So some weeks the prime rate is real high. Some weeks the prime rate is lower. But let's just say I'll start off with $125,000 line of credit. If I got that during the Corona pandemic, that interest rate on there, it might have been 3.2%. But now that interest rate might be 6.5. Like, that's crazy. And then you got compound interest, you got all these different factors, right? So you got to look at that. Okay. Another thing that I want to tell y'all about real true business is that people think of business as a dollar made is a dollar earned, and it's not. Okay. When you go on a business, most businesses tend to operate off of about 4.5 to 13% of their gross revenue. What's left over after all your expenses and bills and stuff is typically 4.5 to 13% of their revenue. Now, is that enough money? How much money do you need to make to live off of 4.5 to 13% of your revenue? So let me break that down into square numbers for you. If you make $100,000, all that you're gonna have left over after you pay your bills is 4,500 to 130,000. I'm sorry, 4,500 to $13,000. Now, if you make $1,000,000, that's 45,000 to 130,000. That's left over. So when you going in and you want to figure out how much you gonna pay yourself out of your business, I would say, hey, I'm gonna pay myself 5.5% of the gross revenue in owner draws, right? Because one of the things that they gonna ask you, your accountant, the bank is gonna ask you, how do you pay yourself? Do you pay yourself in owner draws, or how are you paying yourself? And you need to have an answer. My credit is 750 from last year, March. Why can't it go up? Last year I bought a 2022 Honda Pilot Power, 54,000. Everyone is good to take care of you. Credit by paying bills on time. Well, listen, once your credit is past 720, everything else you doing, man, is really for bragging rights. Okay? It's really for bragging rights. Once your credit is past a 700, everything else you're doing is really for bragging rights. Think about that. So, this was a small little work session that we had planned and set up. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and listening to me. Again, we trying to veer away from the monotony of the R. Kelly content. We want to talk about topics that are really that get people to get knowledge, to grow, and to be able to achieve more as people, right? And so my job is to help everybody power up. Uh, so if y'all got any topics, man, I got any show ideas, anything y'all want me to touch on, my email is in the description of this video as well as on this banner that keeps on scrolling by. Man, y'all can email me with show topics, man. If it's anything y'all want me to kind of clear up, straighten up, man, then hey, don't mind coming on to do a show about it. But yeah, man, we definitely want to get to this economic literacy that folks are talking about. So that Lee, we definitely want to make folks be more financially literate. All right. So man, this has been about an hour. I don't want to keep y'all up all night, man. But thanks for tuning in. Bye, y'all.